With the finish line approaching and an Olympic gold so close she could almost touch it, Shaunae Miller of the Bahamas does. She sprawled across the hard, blue Olympic Stadium track without really knowing why she had done so. Her mind was blank. Her body was cut, with skin torn away just below her right rib cage, her right elbow and 3 places on her legs. But she didn't feel them. Her body was numb. She couldn't move. All she knew was that she had run the race of her life, the 400m at a blazing, beautiful pace, and now she was staring at the stadium lights unsure what to think, just wanting light on the cool wet track because she had no energy left. Then she heard her mother screaming from the stands. "Get up! Get up!" And this was how Shaunae Miller learned she had won Olympic gold. Later, there would be time for the details. She would learn she had beaten American track legend Allyson Felix by the length of her lunging arm, or 0.7 seconds. But at that moment she couldn't digest her success, her dream achieved. "I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am lying on the ground right now," she said. And yet neither her mother's pleas nor a gold medal would pull her to her feet. She had plunged onto the stadium floor to win an Olympic race, and it was there she wanted to stay. An hour after her victory she still seemed perplexed as to why she threw herself across the finish line in the first Olympic medal race of her life. It was instinct, the reaction, the response to seeing Felix in her peripheral vision. "But, hey, I got a medal out of it," she said. When she finally stood up, several minutes after the race, she found her body had cooled. This is when she took account of the injuries from her dive, the bloody spots on her torso, elbows and knees. She felt them all. "Oh gosh, did I cut myself up?" she asked. Somehow she didn't mind. She had a gold medal and it would be an hour before she felt the ache of her wounds kicking in. By then she had wrapped herself in the Bahamian flag, the one that matched the blue streaks in her hair, and she laughed. "It's such an amazing feeling," she said. "My coaches were so pumped," she said. "This will go down as one of the great 400 ms in Olympics history." For much of the last 50m the race was between the 22-year-old Miller and Felix, now 30, who would become the most decorated female runner in the U.S. after her silver gave her 7 lifetime medals, 4 of them gold. They do hold those final few meters as great running champions, each lunging for the gold she desperately wanted to win. Miller had a small vision of Felix at 20 yards out, and she told herself to push deep those last few steps, no matter how much they hurt. In the end, only one woman threw herself across the ground. When asked afterward if she thought Miller's lunge had won her the race, Felix shook her head. "I don't know," she said. "I had to dig as deep as I could and put it all out there." For a moment it appeared as if Felix had won. She couldn't tell. But when the scoreboard at the end of the stadium flashed the results and she saw her name in second place, she too fell to the ground. Like Miller, she was drained. Her legs could barely move. Even though she had won the 200m gold in London as well as 3 relay races, she wanted very much to win Monday's 400m. But her body was not allowing it. Back in May she had stepped on a medicine ball during a workout and injured her ankle. She said she was not fully recovered by Monday's race but wouldn't say how much. She didn't know if the injury had cost her the race. Instead, Felix appeared to be replaying the race in her mind. Was she aggressive enough? Could she have done more? She ran hard at the end, but had she done enough at the start? Could she have been more forceful? "It was a tough one," she said. "It was a tough year, but when I look back on it I will be proud of it." She looked sad. A few minutes earlier she had almost cried as she mouthed the words, "I just really wanted to win it." Those questions will come for another day. Felix still has the 200m and the 4x400m relay left at these Olympics. She will try to win medals in those and add to her collection. Maybe then she could forget the night she lost a gold medal to the woman who plunged across the track, ripping skin from her body in the hope of tasting gold.